What's up, y'all? In this video, I will be discussing the differences between a traditional and a Roth IRA. Before we get going, make sure to click the subscribe button and hit the notifications bell so you know exactly when new content is released. Also, comment below with the topics that you want this channel to cover, and I will work hard to create those videos for you. So, let's get to it. First, what is an IRA? An IRA is a savings account with tax advantages that individuals can open to save and invest in the long term for retirement. This account creates an opportunity for your retirement money to grow and compound, otherwise known as compound growth. Compound growth can be defined as the power of exponential growth. Basically, it's growth on top of growth on top of growth on top of growth. An IRA is definitely a type of account that one would find beneficial to use for their retirement. Before we get to the differences between a traditional and a Roth IRA, let's talk about the similarities first. When it comes to contributions, the max contribution in a year for a traditional and a Roth IRA is $6,000 and $7,000 if you are over the age of 50. Now, these numbers are accurate at the date of this video, but it could change in the future, so always do your due diligence before contributing. The next similarity is that they both have a 10% penalty if you withdraw your earnings before age 59 and a half. So withdrawing your money early should be the last option if you need money for an emergency. Another similarity is that they both have tax advantages. And one last similarity is that there is no age restriction on contributions. Now, what are the differences between the two accounts? As we go through these differences, pay close attention because the information provided will help you make the right decision on the type of account you will need to open up. Let's first talk about the contribution differences. In a traditional IRA, your contributions can come from pre- or after-tax dollars. But with a Roth IRA, your contributions will come from after-tax dollars only. When contributing with pre-tax dollars, you are contributing earned money that has not been taxed yet. When contributing with after-tax dollars, you are contributing earned money that has been taxed. Here is a key tip. With traditional IRAs, it is best to use pre-tax dollars. If you want to use after-tax dollars, there are certain things that you need to do to ensure that you do not receive double taxation, meaning that you contribute earned income that has been taxed, and when you are ready to withdraw your earnings, that will be taxed as well, which is double taxation. When it comes to contribution eligibility, with a traditional IRA, anyone with earned income can contribute. However, with a Roth IRA, those with earned income below a certain income amount can only contribute. Let's take a look at the Roth IRA contribution limits. Again, these numbers are accurate at the date of this video, but can change in the future. If you file your taxes as a single person, pay attention to this column. If you are married and file jointly with your spouse, pay attention to this column. Let's walk through a row. If you file as a single person and make under $129,000 a year, you can contribute $6,000 per year if you are below the age of 50. If you are married and file jointly with your spouse and make under $204,000 a year together, you can contribute $6,000 per year as well if you are under the age of 50. If you are over the age of 50, you can contribute more. Notice that the more you make either as a single filer or married filing jointly, the less you can contribute to a Roth IRA. Now, let's talk about the tax differences between a traditional and a Roth IRA. With a traditional IRA, your contributions grow tax deferred, while in a Roth IRA, your contributions grow tax free. In a Roth IRA, your contributions grow tax free because the money that you use to contribute to a Roth IRA has already been taxed. But in a traditional IRA, your contributions grow tax deferred because typically a person will contribute money that has not been taxed. And when you go to withdraw your earnings, you will be taxed. When it comes to tax deductibility, in a traditional IRA, you get immediate tax benefits if you qualify to deduct your contributions when you are preparing for your yearly tax return. You can do this because a person is typically contributing pre-tax dollars to a traditional IRA. With a Roth IRA, you do not get any current year tax benefits. Your benefits will come later down the road. Which brings me to my next topic, withdrawals. In a traditional IRA, if you withdraw money after the age of 59 and a half, it is penalty free, but it is taxed based on your current tax bracket in the year of the withdrawal. Why is it taxed? because a person would typically contribute pre-tax dollars. With a Roth IRA, if you withdraw money after the age of 59 and a half, and you have had your Roth IRA open for at least 5 years, it is penalty-free and tax-free. Why is it tax-free? Because you contributed after-tax dollars and it wouldn't be right to be taxed twice. There is one more thing to remember regarding withdrawals in a Roth IRA. You can actually withdraw your contributions at any time, penalty and tax-free. Notice how I said contributions only. This does not include your earnings. For example, if you contributed $6,000 in 2020 and your Roth IRA has grown to $8,000, you are allowed to withdraw $6,000 only, penalty and tax-free. Now let's talk mandatory distributions. In a traditional IRA, you are required to start making withdrawals after the age of 72. But with a Roth IRA, there aren't any mandatory withdrawals. We are done talking about the differences, but the key takeaway here is that a traditional IRA has tax advantages now by being able to deduct your contributions if you qualify, while a Roth IRA has tax advantages in the future when you make your withdrawals. Now that you know the similarities and differences between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, where can you open up an IRA? You can open up an IRA through an online brokerage. The common brokerages for IRAs are Fidelity Investments, TD Ameritrade, or Charles Schwab. There are definitely more brokerages, but do your research on which brokerage to use, as each brokerage has different features and tools. You can also open an IRA with a bank. This can be Chase Bank, Bank of America, or Citibank. My preference, though, is to use an online brokerage. You cannot go wrong with the brokerages I mentioned. Before I let you go, think about these two things. Think about if you want tax benefits today or later down the road. And also think about what tax bracket you plan to be in when you retire. These two things can aid you in making a decision on which account to open. Thank you for watching, and make sure to hit the like button and comment below with the topics you want to learn about in the future.